Hi guys, my name is Meads. This is going to be a review for the Revoq spinner made by Wefidget, and it's another Kickstarter project that I backed. And I believe the designer or who made this is Dale Lynn, or according to the Kickstarter. It's one of those interesting finds. Either I've been searching through the Kickstarter or someone that shared it on like a spinner community. Either through Spin Space, you know, there's quite a bit of them. There's Daily Fidget. There's an awesome community out there. It comes in a metal tin. Got a choking hazard there. It's made in China, which means this quite affordable. I think it was about $45 for one. Although it might be a little cheaper. It was a Kickstarter. Sometimes they have the early bird special. So here we go. We got some nice foam packing there. And this is a really nifty bar spinner, made of brass. I don't feel any wobble there. That is quite great. I do feel the feedback of the bearings though. And we'll see in a bit what kind it is inside. So it's quite nice. It's brass. And I actually had this for over a week now. It's starting to patina a little bit because when I got it was actually fairly polished, or it has that kind of like brushed semi-polished look to it. And unfortunately I don't have a scale with me, but it does have some heft on it. It has some weight on it, but it's really great. I really like it. This is kind of like the right weight for me. Well, depending on, for some weird reason, I like heavy spinners the same way I like light spinners. Yeah, just depending what it is, and there's other factors what makes it a really good spinner. Anyways, moving on, we have quite a bit of stuff here for fidgeting. Other than it's a spinner, you have switches here, and each side has two. And likewise also, each one has a different tension. So this one here, it's really stiff. Well, this one you can slide all the way. And this one is a little stiffer. This one you can slide all the way out as well. So it kind of goes opposite. Although, if you remove this, which I will show in a bit, you can swap them. So that's that. Next up is this, it is stainless steel balls here. You can roll them out, or roll them, which is quite nice, and you can click them. That's really cool. So either if you're holding it two hands, just mindless clicking there, or just with one hand here, that is great. Moving on now, the buttons here, you got two sides that are different. Let's go with this one. This I think they call this kind of like the Warstone, where you can just rest your finger here. It gives you quite a bit of satisfying, since you know, the sides here, yeah, it's quite nice. Although I find that this is particularly great for my finger here. It's just the right size. It kind of gives me a better, or a really good grip onto the spinner. And just having that resting spot there. Some people don't like this because they don't really find it. If you're holding it this way, you get a little bit more side to side. Yeah. Some people don't like it. Some people do. I personally like it myself. It's a nice touch that they have this. And it's the first time I'm seeing that made on a spinner. This particular design. I was wondering about that too. How come they haven't made that yet? It just makes sense to have something like a resting point on your finger or your thumb. But there we go. And on the other side, there is that point there that kind of sticks up, and it does give a nice feeling when you put your finger on it. And they call it kind of like the meditation, where you can just roll this around. It's a nice, yeah, it's kind of like a dial. You can just keep rotating it. It's very soothing on the, it's like a pressure point there for the finger. Quite nice. And you have knurls. Now the knurls, I think they call it like deep hand massage. If you just go like this, I mean, it's hot spots with the switches and that. But you know, depending on you, like for myself, I kind of like the knurls, so you can do that as well. So there's just a lot of things you can do with this, and in a way, actually at first I find that it's doing too many things at one go. And it might be kind of conflicting with the other things that it is providing. Alright, so that said, let's take a look inside. So let's go ahead and undo the caps here. Here we go. We get the typical threaded retention system there. There's no tools provided, or none that I remember taking this out, but by now, if you're a spinner enthusiast, you're gonna have tools like this one from BCEDC, or you can have one from Spinetic, which is quite nice, and they're all the same. You can just put it there and just turn it. Now inside, it's a 10-bowl stainless steel R188 bearing. Yep, I could probably change this to a hybrid if I want a better spin time, but with this stock bearings, I got a pretty good spin for tabletop. Actually, I forgot to mention that. Actually, I forgot. Yeah, I did forget to mention that. So you can either swap it either way. You want to put it this way, that's fine. It'll work either way, which side you want to put it on. But I think I typically do it this way, and there is a reason for that. Because at that point there, you might get the spinner a little bit lopsided if you're doing tabletop spin. And not only that, this doesn't provide enough clearance. Yeah, it's quite high, and it's not gonna spin. But you can spin it this way. So that is great. I got about 5 minutes, as they've claimed, and it'll probably get better once I clean up the bearing. So 5 minutes out of the box. That's really great. Right, getting back to this, let me just undo this again. Let's take a peek what's inside. Alright, so there's screws here on the other end. Got my little stubby screwdriver here. Let's see. And every time you unscrew things, just be careful not to strip the screws, because finding the exact match sometimes could be very troublesome. Yep. I think I got them. Now, another interesting thing is the screws are on this side, but the faceplate is removed on the other side, right here. So you gotta be careful with this. Make sure you're on the table, that way when the screw falls down you can find them. So let's take this out, and some nice machining marks inside there. Yep, and there's quite a bit of material here, so that kind of gives the weight inside the spinner. It's not just hollow. We got the ball here, and there's that little disc there, and that's what creates the clicking sound. Yeah, it's just a little concave disc. Really nifty. Alright, so inside we also have the springs where the lever is attached. Nice machining marks there. I was wondering if I just remove all the stuff inside and just spin it like this. I think that would be cool. But there is a little space here where this rests, the particular spring. Now, it is a bit of a hot spot when you're flicking through there, and sometimes you probably hear me flick it and you hear that clicking because I'm touching it. So if that bothers you, I mean, you can still click here. You can just remove all the switches, or you can swap them out. Because again, this one has I can't remember which one. Yeah, this is the lighter one. You can put them all in one side. So yeah, that's pretty much what's in there. And let's go ahead and put everything back on. That goes there. You could probably replace that with another sized steel ball. Could be tungsten, give you a bit more weight, although this is already heavy. Or yeah, I mean, just there's just a lot of possibilities out there. Alright, so where's that? Yeah, there we go. So just bear with me when I put everything back together and give my final thoughts. Or actually, let me talk about just how good it is for as a spinner. Yeah, because when I first got it out, the hot spot kind of bothered me. But as I have it for a week now, it kind of grows on you, and you're starting to really enjoy them. And I think that's the one way to have for spinner. If you just bought a spinner and it didn't really work out for you the first time, give it some time. It's kind of like how Ben does it on his channel, Average Singaporean. He keeps his spinner and puts it on his EDC for several weeks to a month and gives his honest review on it. And like this one here, yeah, when you flick towards the buttons, you will rub against the knurls here, which is not good. But for me, I'm more of a power puller. That is a term. So I go like this. You do hear that switch, but I do like my power flicks. Yeah, it's quite nice. I mean, you can still push it out as well for mid spin speed. Not too bad. Or go like this. Yeah, it's a really great spinner, to be honest. And the more you use it, the more you're gonna enjoy it quite a bit. Now, comparison with other spinners. So other than this, that provides you with a lot more fidgetability and clicking, the other spinner that I have that gives that option is this one. This is Evo by Spinner Manila. So this one, other than it's a spinner, you can click on it. There's actually, it's spring-loaded on the arms, and it has a roller here. So it's a 3-in-1. This one, yeah, you got the switch, got a clicker, the roller. That's 3, 4, 5, and just the whole thing is a, yeah, there's just a lot of things you can do with this. Probably 6-in-1, or maybe more. Yeah. So just in comparison, the Evo is still longer, and probably should measure this with my ruler here. Alright, so this is about close to 2.5 inch, and that's about 63, 64 millimeters. Yep. So it's quite big. I think a good I think for most people, they like it within 2 inches. So this is definitely a little longer than that, but still, it's I mean, for me, in my hand, I mean, I still have a lot of clearance right there. And yeah, this is just great. Other than that, I can compare it with the Spinetic Eye right here. It's almost about a little longer than that. Another great spinner, and I think everybody pretty much has this on their collection. And got the stubby right here. Yep, another great spinner. And the mini tank, or the Secret Service. There's a lot of names of it. A lot of companies or a lot of sellers carry this. Now this one I've painted myself. It's one of my first spinner that I pretty much drop a lot, and there's a lot of things on it, so I decided to just kind of paint it myself. Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the review for the Revoq. It's a really nice spinner. I highly recommend giving it a shot. And for those who back this, you know, it's great. You probably got it cheaper, but as a spinner, it's one of those interesting finds. It offers a lot of more. Again, this is probably what it's gonna make or break for a lot of people. Just that thing hitting you when you flick. Again, you can remove those if you don't like them. I mean, you can still have this, and these are just awesome buttons here. I can probably use this with other spinners, or put a different one here if I will. Yeah, either way, that's it. If you got questions, I'll try my best to answer those for you. and I'll provide the link down below if you're looking to get some. Anyways, that's it. So until then, this is Meads. Thanks for watching.